Hello and welcome back to the Graceful Tangle YouTube channel. I'm Amy Kate, a young but passionate knitter and crocheter. I am so excited to be back with you guys today, but before we hop into the video, be sure to be subscribed to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can know each and every time I upload a new video. Alrighty guys, I am back today talking about a brand new pattern release and I am so excited about it. This one is definitely Valentine's Day themed, but I wanted to go ahead and get it out to you guys so that you have time to make it before that holiday comes and goes, but also just celebrate it all month. And I hope that you are having a great start to the month of February because it's a fun month. It's a new month, a new beginning, and there is so much beauty in that. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce the Stitcheart Legwarmers. I am so excited about this pattern and I hope that you guys are too. I am just so happy with how this turned out. It is my second color work design. I have been having so much fun with color work lately, so I hope that you guys are enjoying it too. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about this pattern and some modifications that you can make and just a little bit about the ins and outs so that you kind of know what to expect when you download the pattern. So these leg warmers are knit from the top down. They have a 1x1 twisted rib, and then of course the color work section, and then the finishing touch of the 2x2 rib here at the cuff. Now, in the pattern, I have listed multiple modifications that you can make based on your desired preferences. I have also written the pattern in multiple sizes, so you are bound to find one that fits you, but of course, if you want them to be larger or more oversized or smaller, just cast on any number of stitches that are a multiple of 8, and the pattern will work just fine. And of course, I have all of that information in the pattern, so be sure to read those pattern notes because that is my place to tell you what to expect in that pattern and what modifications, what tips I have, and I truly hope you take the time to read that because they are there for a reason and I always want to be as helpful as I can to you guys. So the twisted rib is one of my favorite parts of this pattern. I just love the way it looks. And then down below you can see that it gets smaller. So for this pair I included a couple of decrease rounds because I wanted it to be a little bit snug all the way down my leg instead of just at the top. I didn't want it to be baggy at the bottom. And so I added a couple of decrease rounds, and of course I put those instructions in the pattern, but I also included instructions on how you could omit those. So if you want your leg warmers to be the same width all the way down, or if you want them to, just not fit that snug, you totally don't have to do the decreases. You can just do 2 plain rounds of knitting, and that would be perfectly fine as well. Now, the color work chart is designed in such a way that the entire chart is just made up of these 2 sections. So the pink hearts and the red hearts. And it is designed so that you can make these leg warmers as long as you want by just repeating that chart as many times as you want. So for this pair of leg warmers and for the actual pattern, I require that you just do the entire chart once and then the first half again. But of course you can do whatever you want. You can do the chart more than once. You can end on the red background like I did, or you can end on the pink background. Whatever you decide is 100% okay, and that's what I kind of wanted to achieve with this pattern. I wanted to make it easy to customize, but also simple to read if you wanted to make your leg warmers exactly the same as mine. That is my favorite way to write patterns, and I really hope that you guys enjoy following that style. Now, another thing that I wanted to note is that these are basically the leg of a sock. So if you want to just hop right into this pattern, you can just choose the stitch count that matches up with the size sock that you would usually knit. So because I used figuring weight yarn and got the standard sock gauge, you can choose the 56 stitch count, the 64, the 72, whatever works for you. Now, of course, there are a couple more sizes than that. So if your legs are smaller, you can choose a smaller size. Larger, you can choose a larger size. But if you have experience knitting socks, you know that, okay, I need to cast on 64 stitches because that's how much I would cast on for my socks. So you can totally do that because these fit exactly the same. They're just only on your leg. So you don't have to do the heel, you don't have to do the foot, you don't have to do the toe, which means these are so sticking quick, and I absolutely love that about them. Now, the yarn that I used is Knit Picks Twill Fingering in 3 different colors. I definitely recommend having 2 colors because I think it looks best, of course, if you knit the hearts in the background in a different color. But you could just use 2 colors, and you could do like the pink for the cuffs and then jump into this red here. I personally chose to do 3, and I really love the way that it looks. So again, this is Knit Picks Twill in the colorways Dove Heather is the gray. This red is Crabapple Heather, I believe. And then the pink is Rose Water Heather. And that pink is like my absolute favorite color. So I love that it is included in this design. I am so thrilled with how these turned out, and I hope that you guys love them too. You can use the code HEART at checkout to get the pattern for free. So be sure to take advantage of that because I want to give that out to you guys. It's kind of like my little promotion and also just a little Valentine's Day gift for you guys. So I hope you love them. I hope they kind of get you into the spirit. Of course, you can knit these, you know, year round for anybody you like. I just like them for this time of month especially. It's a little bit special. Now, a couple of other things I wanted to chat about before I sign off, and that is just a little bit of color work tips. So when I released my Confident in the Woods beanie, I asked you guys if you would be interested in me creating a color work kind of tips video and tutorial. That is definitely something that I'm planning on doing. I just haven't quite gotten around to it yet. However, I wanted to provide my favorite color work tips and the ones that help me the most. So first off is when you're holding 2 colors of yarn, you can choose to hold one in each hand, one color in each hand, or you can just drop one yarn and work with one at a time. So that's completely up to you. However, the biggest thing that I have always seen in color work is gauge. So if you tend to be a tight knitter, I would suggest going up a needle size for the body of these Legwarmers so that you're less likely to get any puckering, which is when the floats, which I'm going to show you, which is when the floats are shorter than the length of the stitches. So as you can see from my floats, you can tell that over here, like when I had about 5 stitches in between this, these 2 stitches where I used the pink yarn, you always want to make sure that your floats are laying flat. If they are too tight, your work is going to pucker like that, and you don't want that to happen because it's hard to block out, it's hard to fix, and you just want to try to avoid that. So my biggest tips is to always lay that color that you're bringing up to work with over all of those stitches that you just knit loosely. And that way it's going to prevent any puckering and just really help you maintain the correct gauge throughout this pattern. But again, the biggest tip that I have is definitely to up a needle size. Now, I personally don't really struggle with gauge in color work, so I kept the same size, which is size 1 at 2.25mm needles for the entire Legwarmer. But if you struggle with gauge, I would recommend going up to maybe a 1.5 or 2, just to ensure that they are as even as can be. Now, I also chose to knit the colorwork section using 9-inch circulars because I thought that would be able to help me maintain my gauge a little bit better, and I was totally right, and I highly recommend doing that method. However, you could also do magic loop or DPNs or whatever method of working in the round that you prefer, because we all have our preferences and there is not a single thing wrong with any of them. So be sure to do what is most comfortable for you. I am so excited about this pattern, and I hope that you guys are too. I will link it down below, and don't forget to use that coupon code to get it for free. But of course, I will have a promotion running all week long, so you can get yourself a discount. I hope that you're as excited about this pattern as I am. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye.